Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Looking at the new world that we're in and how we're preparing for the holidays, one of the things that our esteemed guest brought up to me was the fact is we have to actually use the technology that we have to even become more connected to family in disparate places, whether in the United States, around the globe. We can actually bring family even closer together by the use of technology. Something I was not thinking about, and this is just absolutely a marvelous idea. So we're going to talk about the examples of a plant-based holiday meal in what I'm calling a Zoom connected world. A new world, but yet in some ways, even though we may be more at distance, we actually can be much closer together and share in real time what's going on in each of our households. This is Granetta Coleman. She is very inventive and very creative, and we just think she's absolutely wonderful. She's a certified Food for Life instructor of Rooted Dish, but very clever and just is always giving us new ideas how to think about life and the world and everything around us. So, Granetta, looking at this, the holiday season and this Zoom connected world, how do these really do mesh together that we can actually deepen and broaden our connections with friends and family in ways we never thought about before?
Well, now is an opportune time to connect with family that is close to us and connect with family that may be in a different state or a different country through new holiday gatherings via technology.
I think it's really just clever what you came up with, and I just love this concept. But again, going back to these colors of the rainbow and having all these different colors, different types of foods, why is it so important at holiday times? Particularly, we think about the colors of our food and the balance that we're bringing to friends and family around our tables, whether it's here or 5,000 miles away.
Well, holidays are an opportunity to celebrate. And if you're looking at a table, a celebration table is full of color. If you're looking at your plate, a celebration plate is full of color. Not only will it make you feel good from an emotional standpoint, but from a health standpoint, all those colors are going to provide you with different vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are going to make you live a long, healthy life.
Now, looking at the colors and looking at the health officials and also bringing in the immediate family, how can we do that maybe easier than ever before?
Well, with the technology platforms that everyone has become familiar with these days, we can invite our family from all around the world to share in our holiday dinner. And health officials have advised that people should still remain somewhat separated. So this plays perfectly into the best practice right now.
Yeah, I tell you, best practices at many different levels. And adapt traditions. Explain that to us and how this idea of having this Zoom connected family is such a brilliant idea and to actually deepen relationships that we never even thought about in a way before?
So there's two ways that you can adapt your traditions. One is to invite family that has never sat at your holiday table to your table via a Zoom or other software invite. So you can expand your family circle in that way. Another way to adapt traditions is instead of having a traditional meal, you can adapt and have a vegan holiday meal.
Mhm. Now, looking at the adapting the menu and using the vegan mindset, the vegan style of eating, why is that becoming more and more important as we move through the 21st century?
Well, there's a couple of aspects. One is that every known flu has been caused due to animal raising activities. So, if we want to try to prevent any of these from happening in the future, we need to try to set aside animal products, eating them, and move to plants.
Mhm. Now, looking at having a healthy meal, you say this honor your family with a meal that creates health. How can you say that so emphatically?
Well, the science has been in for a long time that plant based eating actually can maintain your health for a longer period of time. You can live longer
Mhm.
on a plant based diet. And people who eat animal products have a shorter lifespan. So if you love your family, you want them to be around for a long time, which I definitely do, try to encourage them to go vegan or plant
Mhm.
based.
And the whole thing about existing menus versus new menus, how do you come out on that, and how can people either adapt or create new?
So it depends on the person. If you are comfortable trying to adapt your old recipes, you can swap out animal based products for plant based products, like plant based milk instead of cow's milk, plant based butter instead of cow's butter. Or you can get adventurous and try an entirely new menu that will be your new tradition for your holiday.
Mhm. And looking at the replacements, taking out the meat, the butter, the cheese, the various animal proteins. How are mushrooms and lentils? And I'm going to add to that chickpeas because I just love chickpeas. How does that really help us to move away more into the plant-based meals? But at the same time, it's bringing us more nutrition and reducing carbon loading on planet Earth.
Well, the lentils and chickpeas are great because they will be a higher level of protein, amount of protein per by volume
Mhm.
than other vegetables. So if you're worried about replacing meat for these legumes, you don't have to worry about that because you're getting plenty of protein. Now, the mushrooms are special because they have cancer fighting properties. So you can always think about, hey, what is this food doing for me? Not only is it filling you up, but it can actually do more for you.
Yeah, and that goes back to the age-old thought of, food is medicine, and it absolutely is true. Creating a main dish, we're just going to kind of stroll through here and talk about some of these foods, Granetta. So I may interject a question or two, but just tell us what we're looking at, why these are so important, and how can these become a new tradition for our viewers.
So, a lot of holiday celebration dinners have a main dish, kind of a centerpiece for the entire meal that is more protein heavy. So, that's what this is. This is a shepherd's pie that has a lentil and mushroom and a lot of other vegetable filling, topped with some delicious sweet potatoes. So, it's going to have this great gravy and flavor inside and savory and also very decadent with the sweet potatoes on top.
Now, looking at this, can you make a gravy out of a plant-based origin?
You sure can. There's a gravy is essentially vegetable broth that is thickened with something. So you can
Mhm.
thicken it with flour, or you can get even more exotic and put some mushrooms in there and make it really taste delicious.
Yeah, I tell you, this is a beautiful dish that you have here. Tell us again about this, the side dishes, And also, I really want to emphasize the color because in this, we have just about every color you can think of.
Yes, this is a feast for your eyes. So you can see there's roasted vegetables of all different colors. So that's going to be a lot of different nutrients in those roasted vegetables, the Brussels sprouts, the peppers, the carrots. And then you see this butternut squash mac and cheese with no cheese. It's butternut squash mac and cheese. So it's a creamy, rich sauce, but that butternut squash is an orange color that will give you beta carotene, an antioxidant. And then you have this lovely salad with this beautiful purple cabbage on top. So that purple cabbage is just going to really give you a lot of health benefits. And then, of course, everybody loves bread. So throw in some crusty bread.
Oh, I tell you, this really looks beautiful. That really is a feast for the eyes. Desserts. Share how desserts, you don't need all the eggs, the butter, and the other animal source proteins, yet it can still be as delicious.
Well, essentially, you can make any dessert plant-based. And this picture is just showing a delicious apple pie with a plant-based crust. So the crust is made with flour and oil. And then the pie filling is essentially, I'm sorry, not apple pie, pumpkin pie. It's essentially pureed pumpkin with a delicious coconut whipped cream on top. I don't believe in deprivation.
Yes. Well, and it also is very pretty and it looks quite traditional. And so, again, it's a feast for the eyes as well as the tummy. Now, this is something that I thought was quite interesting. And I think you are triggering off of these words maybe in different ways, feeding a blended group. It may relate to the food itself. It may relate to the people that are sitting around that table. How are you meaning this, or what are the various meanings of this statement from what we're seeing?
So absolutely, a blended group can mean different things at different times. It can be people of different religions or political persuasions, but I'm using it right now to talk about people who eat different things. So in your holiday coming together, you may end up having one person in your family or a couple people who still eat animal products. And that's okay. Everybody's in a transition, I say. Everyone's transitioning to plant-based. They just don't know it yet. So you still want to be gracious and allow them to bring something that they, or cook something that they want to eat. And also they can try these plant-based foods.
Yeah, and looking at that, how do you accommodate both at the same table?
So I would do that by either allowing someone to make an animal-based product, or I would pick up something animal-based that was pre-prepared for this specific occasion. It's really the only time of the year that I would make that accommodation would be at a holiday.
And doing that, what are we doing as far as bringing more people in to understand that maybe they really do need to be on a plant-based diet? How does this help them in that transition, or even to start thinking about it for the first time?
It can help them in two ways. Number one, they get to taste this delicious plant-based food, and that will encourage them to say, this is actually good. I might try this. And number two, just setting a good example. You cannot underestimate the power of example for people. They'll see your health and they might want to emulate it.
Yeah, and also too being able to accommodate people with different feelings, emotions, traditions, and so we're just trying to be inclusive of everybody around us. This is going back to recipes, and that's very important for people to be able to have a place, a source that they can go. And then I wanted to go out on this. How does this really help as far as the colors and the beauty of this table? And we'll go out on that. We have about 20 seconds.
All right. Well, this table you can see is a festive table. Plants bring the festivities. Plants are full of colors. So if you want to have a gorgeous, healthy, luscious looking table, bring plants.
I tell you, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you for being with us, Greta Coleman, Rooted Dish, as we create the Emerald Planet.